Hello, my darlings, and welcome back. For those of you who are new here, my name is Miranda and I am the Enchantress of Avalon. So today's video is really special because instead of just having a cup of tea with me, like in my last video when I went over my herbal tea menu, this White Rose of Avalon LLC vlog is actually going to be the process of making a delicious pot of herbal tea. So after this intro, you will see the actual process of me brewing some tea, and then I will sit down here with you and chat about the tea blends that I've decided to drink today and a little bit more about the services and products that I offer. And of course, my shop, whiteroseofavalon.life, in the shop category of the site will be linked down below, as will my Patreon, which has 3 different tiers, a $3, a $9, and a $13 tier if you are interested in supporting me that way. So without further ado, let's get into that tea making process. All right, so we are back and I have my pot of tea ready to go, and you will have seen my process mixing this tea up and brewing it. So basically, oh, you can see all the steam because it's very hot still. It's going to be a bit before I can take a sip. Now, the basic rule of thumb when brewing herbal tisanes, or herbal teas as they're more commonly known, they're technically a tisane because that is herbs and water together make a tisane. To truly be a tea, they would have to have the Camellia sinensis plant in them, which is the tea leaf itself. But we just colloquially always call them herbal teas. That's what everyone knows them by. Well, the rule of thumb when brewing is to get your herbal tea and you're pouring hot water at the boiling point, which you will have seen in the video. This did get to the boiling point, which is why it's still so hot. And you're going to steep your tea for between 7 to 10 minutes when it is an herbal tisane. Now, it could be steeped for longer if you want it to be stronger. The longer you steep, the stronger it becomes. You can technically steep herbal tisanes for hours if you want. And I've done that before. I love doing that for like iced teas and things. Now, as for what tea is in my cup right now, it is my Le Plus Heureuse tea. It is a tea inspired by Queen Anne Boleyn, and it contains hawthorn berries, elderflowers, red rose petals, red raspberry leaf, and nettles. So it's a very comforting, very soothing tea. The red raspberry leaf and the nettles together form this delicious concoction that is so soothing for womb health, although they are excellent for both genders. Does not matter if you are, if you actually have a womb or not, doesn't matter. But nettles is a tonic for sexual reproductive organs in every person. So great for that kind of health. And because this was inspired by the height of Anne Boleyn's rise to power as Queen of England, hence why it's titled after her coronation motto, I decided that this tea would be when she was at her most fertile. During her coronation, she was already pregnant with the future Queen Elizabeth I. So that's why we have some womb health herbs in there. Having the hawthorn berries, to me, just reminds me of, obviously the May Queen, hawthorn being the tree of May. And It's such a vibrant energy, the May Queen energy. It's one I'm very closely connected to myself. Those May Queens, the fairy queens of May, and flower brides and all, because I think this period of Anne Boleyn's life, she was embodying that very highly, as is why I have the elderflowers in there. Elderflowers, of course, being these beautiful blooms of the elder tree, and elderflower is so nourishing and it's great for immune support. So going into the colder months now, there's several teas I have that have elderflower in them. It's excellent. I also have teas with elderberries. Again, excellent for helping your immune system out as we get into the cooler months. And then the final ingredients that I haven't talked about is the red rose petals. Clearly, we can't have a Tudor Queen, Fairy Queen tea without having some roses involved because of the Tudor rose. So that, my friends, is why I chose each of those herbs to go in this blend. And besides that, it's delicious together. And I don't know if it's cool enough to sip yet. Let's see. It has this really beautiful light fragrance, and ooh, yeah. I have the elderflower taste really at the forefront and the hawthorn berry at the end. And then all of those other flavors are there too. I think the nettles provide a little extra something. And nettles are also full of iron and of plant protein as well. So this is a lot of nourishment in one cup. Now, I know that most of you who are regular viewers here will know that other than my teas, I also do tarot reading services with my business. And my tarot reading services, I have several. You could do 3-card reading, 5-card reading, a Celtic cross. My personal favorite is my channels readings with fairy queens. You would get a channeled pre-recorded reading with either Morgan Le Fay, Blodaiwith, Rhiannon, or Guinevere. It would be your choice which queen you want me to channel for you. And I chose those queens because I have relationships with each of those fairy queen goddesses, and it's just such a beautiful experience getting to help people in that way. And it'll help you connect with them and whatever messages they might have for you. And then my last option on my readings is I also do a live reading via Zoom option if you would want a live in-person reading. All of the others are pre-recorded, which means that I get to set the space. I always mugwort cleanse my space and myself and my cards before any reading. I also, when I'm doing these readings, I often will light a candle to just hone in on your energy to make sure that I'm having that connection. And then I will perform the reading. I will take pictures of the cards and I will send that recording off to you. It'll be uploaded to Facebook and you'll get the link to the recording. And I do try to do that within 48 hours. If it is a Zoom live reading, then of course we would just have to pre-set that up and do it at whatever time we arrange together. And then, of course, Patreon. Now, if you are at my $13 tier, my Raven tier on Patreon, you will actually get a 3-card reading each month from me during the 3 days of the full moon. One of those days I will do a reading for you, and that is a great value. It's less than if you were to just purchase an individual 3-card reading. So it is something to consider. And also my $9 tier, my Owl tier, can get access to a 1-card pull reading each month at the same time frame during the full moon. So I do hope you've enjoyed hearing a little bit about my products and my services and seeing a little bit of what living the fairy tea enchantress lifestyle is like. I think that herbal teas and tarot readings are such great things to decide to invest in for the fall and into the winter, because you just want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. I actually did recently do a blog post about self-care for autumn, because it is so important to remember to take care of ourselves as the weather gets colder. It's always important to take care of ourselves, but it's something that we have to remind ourselves to do sometimes, and I think it's important to have those reminders in place as the weather gets more treacherous and cold and flu season are going to be upon us before we know it. So I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do like, comment, subscribe, and of course, check out my website, check out my shop, and check out my Patreon. All that's always linked in the description box below, as is my Discord, which is totally free to join. All right, have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye now.